Welcome to another episode of OG55. Yes, the glasses are back. I actually was super gluing earlier and I don't want to get super glue residue on my contacts, so I gotta wear my fucking glasses again. But hey, here we are. I got Mr. Theme Park Conductor with me today. We are going live answering your questions, your comments. Up next on OG55 Live. Let's get it, son. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55 Live. I got Mr. Theme Park Conductor with me today, Mr. Choo Choo. We had a fantastic weekend over at HHN. Really, really good time. But Mr. Conductor, thank you for joining, man. It's good to see you,
Uh,
dude. Long time no see.
I know, right? It feels like forever, even though it was a couple days ago. Man, what happened?
I know, time flies, time flies. If you could let everybody home know where they could find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me, Theme Park Conductor, on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and my brand new or fairly new TikTok, which is blowing up. Thank you, everybody online, for making that happen. You can also find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we have amazing guests like the one and only Orange Grove 55, George the Disney Italiano, Tommy Toon World, and so many others. Why we talk Universal, Disney, HHN, and the up and coming Christmas season, which is absolutely going to be fantastic. I cannot
Yeah.
wait. But it's always a great time being on Orange Grove 55, even with his retro glasses back on. I love it. Shout out OG55.
There we go. We're back, baby. We got glasses. Yeah, dude. I was super gluing earlier because one of my Funko Pops actually broke. I was super gluing earlier, so I got a bunch of super glue on my fingers. I don't want to actually get the super glue in my eye, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait a day or two and put the contacts in later. So Florentine says, yeah, OG have the glasses. Yeah, it's limited. It's limited time magic, Florentine. This is not going to be an everyday thing. I just have super glue on my fingers. Uh, and he continues with Conductor and OG. Good time, y'all match. Absolutely. Conductor is my brother. I love this man. We had a fantastic time at HHN. It was a really, really good time with him and Tommy and our friend Andre, right? Crazy. This Thursday, actually, we're going to be recording a video with Conductor and Tommy Toon all about HHN. We're going to be reviewing our experience. So check that out. It'll probably be up on Thursday night. So check that out, guys and gals. And we got Brandon Smith, and we also have Lucas Kim in the house. And Storybook says, looks good, OG. You can rock that. Well, thank you, Storybook. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so Conductor, let's dive right in. And also, by the way, this is a multi-stream live show. So this is also being simulcast on the one and only Theme Park Conductor's channel, where you can go ahead and check him out and make sure you subscribe to him as well. Matthew Murr, member for 14 months, says, which Star Wars film do you think has the best overall soundtrack? Individual tracks can't count in this case. Matthew Murr, this is a tough call because like pretty much everything that John Williams does is an absolute banger. It's tough. I'm gonna go Empire Strikes Back, just because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's the movie that the Imperial March and the Yoda theme was introduced. So very solid pick, but I mean, potato. I mean, it's Star Wars. All of them have great music, you know. So I don't know. If I had to choose, it would be Empire. But I mean, really, it's John Williams. So how do you even pick? You know what I'm saying? What say you, Conductor? Is there a movie in the Star Wars canon that stands out for you with the music, or are they all just
I,
bangers?
I think they're all bangers in my opinion, and it goes even for the indie series as well. I know there's a Star Wars question, but you can't argue with John Williams. The guy is phenomenal. The orchestra that he runs is phenomenal. I don't think there's one that stands above the rest. I really do not. I think
Yeah.
they're all equal.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Star Wars, the music in and of itself is a character in and of itself, right? Like, and that's the one thing that Conductor we talked about it here on the channel so many times with Galaxy's Edge. How do you have a whole land based on Star Wars and no music? I mean,
I know.
music made that franchise. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me, to think about that. So, yeah, it's amazing music. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Dragon Blood here though, and Dragon Blood, it's always good to see you. I do appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you so much. Personally, love A New Hope the most. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. A great look. It's Star Wars, so there's no bad option. Giant Peter.
Hmm.
Giant Peter, giggity giggity, right? Giant Peter. I was super gluing my Legos a week ago. I had to get a specific glue ordered from Germany. Peter, do you have any like glue remover you can let me borrow? Because I'm kind of struggling right now, bro. I'm kind of struggling. And we got Haunters Unite in the house. Hey, fellas, what's going on, Haunters? I appreciate you. I really, really do. And Cassandra here says, would like to hear about your visit to HHN. Yes, this upcoming Thursday, Conductor and myself and Tommy Toon, we are definitely going to do a whole video on that. So check that out. And Giant Peter says he doesn't have any glue remover. All right, Giant Peter. It's
Worth a
all
shot.
good. I'm just going to have to take a crazy shower afterwards. Andrew Kellogg here with part 1 of 2. Do you think that Warner Brothers should make a movie about the making of the 1939 Wizard of Oz movie? So this is part 1. So, Conductor, are you a Wizard of Oz guy, or you don't really care?
So actually, I am. I'm not a ginormous fan, but I am a fan. Um, it would be very interesting, if they did some type of documentary on the 1939 film. I would actually enjoy that. I really would. So, do I think they should make something like that? Absolutely. I really do.
Okay, yeah, I'd be down for that. I'd be down for like a little behind the scenes documentary sort of style film. Um, you can get Leslie Iwerks to do it. I mean,
Oh,
I don't
there
know
you
if,
go.
I mean, she did a great job with the Imagineering story and that new doc that they just announced over at Destination D23, Disneyland, handcrafted. It looks amazing. So she seems to have a knack for this kind of thing. I'd get her to do it, but it's a great movie. It's obviously a classic. So I see no reason why not. I'm actually surprised they haven't done one already, Andrew, to be honest with you. And Mr. Kellogg here. I'm kind of curious, Andrew. Are you related to the Kellogg family? Do you have like a bajillion dollars in your bank account? Like you're the heir to the cereal empire. You know what I'm saying? Very, very curious. Comment in the chat. I'd love to know. Do you think that the 1939 Wizard of Oz movie needs to be remade? I mean, not really. I don't think it does. I mean, I think that it was kind of a brilliant idea how they kind of incorporated that film in the first place with the whole beginning of it being black and white and kind of going into color. I think that was kind of a cool move because at that time, it was kind of that transitionary between the black and white and the color content. So it was kind of a cool way they incorporated both. I don't know. I don't know if they can do it for modern age and still hit the same way. I think Universal has done a great job with that IP with things like Wicked, but do we need a remake of the original? I don't know. Personally, I think Universal should just keep going with the Wicked stuff. I don't want to
Yeah.
remake necessarily, but I don't know. What say you, Conductor? You think they should
So
remake it or?
no, I think it's one of those films, again, 1939, like OG laid it out perfectly. It starts off in black and white, then goes to color. That was a lot of innovation they had back then making that movie. There was a lot of, you know, things that, for that time era that we didn't think we were going to see. So, do I think they need to redo it? No. I think it sits in the category like Back to the Future. If they tried to make another one or redo it, it wouldn't hit the same. It would be more weird to remake it than just leaving it alone.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I completely agree. So a lot of people are commenting here. Lucas here says, "Bring back Oz, the Great and Powerful." Storybook says, "Too close to Wicked." Dragon Blood here also with the personally we have Wicked. Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with Wicked. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's kind of like the new the new frontier into this IP. You know, and Universal's done a great job with it. So you know, and actually, I want to ask you, Conductor,
Sure.
did you see Mark Woodbury's comments about Wicked coming to Epic Universe?
I did. I did. And it's something that I'm glad that they're exploring. I think Orlando would be a great area to have a land based off Wicked and see what they can come up with. You know, obviously they have a lot more land than Hollywood or some of these other Universal parks that are international, or even Texas. I don't think they would bring it to Texas, but you know the international parks, and then you got Hollywood. So I'm glad that he wants to do that, and I give him praise for it. So I cannot wait to see it. But again, would I bring something like that to Hollywood? That's debatable, because the way I see it in Hollywood, whatever we decide to bring has to have it has to be relevant. It has to draw in guests for over a decade, I would say, to make it worth it. You know, since we're dealing with capacity issues. So I'm glad that they want to bring it to Orlando. I hope they do. I really hope they do.
Me too. And the reason why I think it's a great idea is also it kind of gives Universal a lot. Like Harry Potter was one of those franchises where it was like a very magical, so to speak, franchise that sort of brought that Disney sort of vibe to Universal, right? Like that magic and all that. Where with Wicked is sort of the same kind of thing. It's a musical. It's a very Disney-ish kind of IP. So I think it's smart for Universal to sort of take on these sort of Disney vibey IP because look, I mean, they're offering at Universal now IP that like you don't need to go to Disney for. You don't need to go to Disney now for musicals. You don't need to go to Disney for magic. You don't need to go to you can get that at Universal Orlando. You can get that at Universal Hollywood essentially, right? So I think it's a very, very smart decision. You're gonna want to do that. So yeah, I think that it's a great idea. I think Mark Woodbury has been a fantastic leader for the Universal parks. And we'll see kind of how it goes, but he was hinting at a lot. I don't know. I think Wicked. I think that might be a thing. But Brandon Wong here says there's a documentary on the Wizard of Oz that came out in 1990. I think it's called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz: 50 Years of Magic. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'll have to go check that out.
Absolutely. And David says, "I love you, OG." I love you too, David. I absolutely, David.
There we go.
I love you too, brother. I love you too. And I did tell Bricky you said hi. I did tell Bricky you said hi. So I wanted to let you know that. And we got Justin, Ray, Gabby, Kat, Diaz. Mr. Diaz here says hello, theme park conductor. So,
Hello. Welcome in.
absolutely. And then I wanted to bring this up.
Sure.
Kev, our good friend, Mr. Techno, says, who would win in a fight? Frankenstein or theme park conductor? I was just with this guy, Kev, on, what was it, Sunday?
Saturday.
Was it Saturday? No, Friday. I'm sorry, Friday. Friday night. I was with this guy on Friday night, and I tell you, man, he's 6'4". I don't know.
Let me quash this for you. I don't know if I would win. I would give Frankenstein a run for his money, though.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. You were my rock, bro. When we were going through those mazes, those haunted mazes, you were my rock. I was hugging, conductor. I mean, like two straight guys would, right? Can't two straight guys just hug, just hug it out in HHN? Come on, you know what I'm saying? No judgments. Kev here says Universal has secured theme park rights to Harry Potter in the UK. They circumvented WB because WB runs a tour, not a theme park. What say you? Oh, so Universal has secured theme park. Go ahead, conductor. This is interesting.
So I'm going to give my 2 cents. Obviously, I think our Universal expert wizard can shine more light on this. But from what I'm hearing, they did get clearance to, build the land inside the UK park. But some are hinting at it might not be based off the original 8 films of the Daniel Radcliffe era. It might be based off the TV series that
Oh,
just
okay.
got approved for 8 episodes. So we'll have to wait and see. But it is very interesting because I know of that tour at WB London. I've seen pictures, videos. It looks absolutely incredible, the tour they do. So I'm very curious how this UK park's really going to embrace Harry Potter.
Yeah, me too. That UK park looks very promising. I know there's rumors of like Back to the Future, which is amazing. I can't wait for that. I know there's rumors that they're going to do a stunt show based on 007, which is this is perfect for a UK park. So a lot of cool stuff happening over there. So we'll kind of see how it goes. And Cassandra here says a bromance going on in HHN. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it was.
It was a bromance, absolutely. I gotta tell you though, we went through. I think it was the Wyatt House, right?
Yeah.
The Wyatt House, and there was this cute couple behind us. I think they were from like Thailand, and his girlfriend, bro, was so freaking scared. And
Yes.
I turn around and say, "Hey, bro, is this your first time?" He goes, "Yeah." I could
Mhm.
tell in his voice, like, "Yeah, first and last, bro."
Yeah, exactly.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And then we got, I think we know this guy. I don't know. It looks familiar. Do you know him or I don't know. I can't pinpoint. Who is this
I,
guy?
I don't know. Citrico? God, that's scratching my head all of a sudden.
Did we go to high school together? Is that where I know
I,
you from, Citrico?
I, I think I did go to high school with that guy.
Yeah, I think that might be where we know him. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But Frankenstein look Frankenstein looks like Webster next to Conductor. Yeah, he does.
He does.
Yeah, he does. I don't know. Is that yeah. I
That's
think that
pretty accurate.
I think that's pretty accurate. I completely agree. And we got Kiki and Luca in the house. We love Kiki and Luca. Kiki and Luca is in the house. And he goes on to say, "Hey Lucas, great job on the show the other day." Yes, we did a member exclusive video with Mr. Lucas Kim. We love Lucas Kim. He's an awesome friend of the channel. And I sat down with him and we talked about his experience, his first time experience over there at Epic Universe. And we talked a little bit about Destination D23. So Lucas is a friend of the channel. So if you're a member here on OG55, make sure you check out that video we did recently. Also, make sure you go over to Lucas Kim's channel. This guy does great content, you know what I'm saying? So make sure you subscribe to him and show him some love. And also, you should go over to this guy. I think the guy we went to high school with. I think I think he has a YouTube channel too. You want to check his out too, and go ahead and subscribe. Actually, Mr. Citrico over here, in all seriousness, just crossed over what 850 subs, and like
Shout out.
yeah, like 3 days ago we had like 430. I'm like, dude,
Man.
he's out here doing it, man. There we go, there we go. There we go. Shout out. But yeah, he's on his way to 1,000. So make sure you subscribe and check him out. 100%. We got Mr. Seymour Duck now. Conductor, I don't know if you know this, but we are celebrating a big milestone today with Mr. Seymour Duck. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Seymour Duck. Man.
There we go. He's no longer a duckling. He's a full-grown duck.
Perfect.
Make sure everybody in the chat comments and wishes Mr. Seymour Duck a very, very happy birthday. Seymour, we love you, brother. Like I said on one of my community posts today, Seymour is family here at OG55. He is brilliant in so many ways with his analysis of the financial world, but also just he's really passionate about like the Japanese culture and all that stuff. And we have a great time with Mr. Duck. So Seymour, it's been awesome having you on the team, bro. And just want to say cheers. Hope you're having a great birthday. And hopefully you can make it out down to California, and you can hug Conductor and I when we go through the HHN mazes, all three of us together. So
Perfect.
that works, right? That works. And then we have Googamp32. Why is Disney dragging their feet on adapting video games into movies where every other studio can't wait to snatch up every other video game movies? Right? Look, Googamp. I see what you're saying. And I feel like Disney, and it's not just video games, I feel like Disney is really behind. They're like really risk adverse or something. I don't even know. Because even with anime, even with Japanese stuff, like Universal is all in. We saw the Haijuku Kaisen
Yeah.
at HHN last year. They got that cool Japanese bear now That's I don't know the name. Do you know the name of the bear?
It's I know the name of the bear, but it's very hard to say it. So I rather not say it because I'm gonna butcher the damn thing. So I rather not say it.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, well, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool bear. It's from Japan. I don't know the name either. I know it starts with an H, but I don't want to mispronounce it. But I feel like Universal is leaning hard. Oh, and One Piece at FanFest, right? Universal is leaning hard on this, on the anime, the Japanese culture. Yeah, and I just feel like, I mean, Disney really isn't, and I don't know why. Oh, Hakumi. Thank you, Rogue. Appreciate you. Hakumi.
There you go.
I feel like Disney's really like behind with this stuff, man. I mean, they should really get in there and really kind of embrace this stuff. Like K-pop Demon Hunters. You know, we did a great video the other day about that with Jay Shear and Slimer and Seymour, and it's like that is an amazing franchise already. And Disney isn't really embracing this stuff, man. But what say you, Conductor? I mean, in terms of video games, in terms of like even just the anime stuff, do you kind of feel Disney's kind of like kind of slow to respond to this? It's kind of weird, right?
That it's very interesting. I could be completely wrong on this, but I remember back in the early 2000s, Disney had a hand in, the video game world, and they kind of backed off from it. I don't know if it was just at the time they were just unsuccessful or what the deal might be. Now, going from that to, anime, um, there's a handful of anime properties they can incorporate into their park, but a lot of it is kind of like adult content. And the biggest problem that I see with Disney compared to Universal, when you look at Universal and you go into their parks, one of the biggest things I've seen is how they can, bring both adult humor and entertainment, but also have kid and, younger teenager type, entertainment and lands and stuff to their parks. Disney, on the other hand, they have, little things here and there like Avengers. They have, Indiana Jones and stuff like that. But even their after dark events like Star Wars, pretty much Star Wars caters to everybody. And then you got like Oogie Boogie. That's really, you might see like zombie Captain America, but you're talking about one little character out of an entire event that, you know, kind of should balance better, but it doesn't. So when that question does come up, I just don't feel like Disney, maybe they just don't feel like any anime property they would love to incorporate in their park. I just don't think they know how to incorporate it into their park.
That's a great point. That's a great point. You know, they probably don't. They probably don't know how to incorporate it. I mean, if it was up to me, I would really like. I don't know if the castle parks are really a good fit for anime, but I mean, I could see a
Sure.
DCA working
Oh
that
yeah.
perfectly, right? In Hollywood land or whatever. I could see, like Hollywood studios doing that. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but unfortunately, Disney isn't really grabbing it. Now, we'll kind of see how it goes on, moving forward. But there's talks here in the chat about turning red, which is was it Chinese?
Yeah.
There is Raya the Last Dragon, which is technically no culture, but heavily inspired by Vietnamese. And Big Hero 6, which is very Japanese influence. So maybe that's the route Disney's going to kind of go in with, like, we're not going to do anime per se, but we're going to do stuff that's kind of our stuff, but it represents that Asian, culture. So that
Yeah.
might be the way they go. But Kiki and Luca gifted 5 OG55 memberships. Thank you so much, Kiki and Luca. Really do appreciate you. And thank you so much for all your support and your friendship. You are amazing, sir. Thank you so much. 5 OG55 memberships. If you are one of the lucky 5 that got one of those memberships, check out a lot of the member content. We just recently I did a members only live show with our good friend Slimer. We have a lot of members only videos where we talk about recently. I did a whole video with Matthew Murr about, how can Disneyland kind of get more tourism into the area. and a lot of stuff. So check it out, new members. You'll have a fun time with all the new member content. And again, Kiki and Luca, thank you so much. Lucas and Disney with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Lucas. Some fans believe that anime doesn't belong in American parks and should stay only in Japan. I hard disagree with that. That is really just, yeah, not a good opinion. But hey, people believe what they want to believe. Do you
Sure.
agree, or do you feel it's cultural ignorance? Yeah, no, I think it's cultural ignorance. What do you mean it doesn't belong in America? I mean, come on. I mean, One Piece is one of the biggest. And Lucas, to your credit, like you called it, bro. Like you said, One Piece is a phenomenon. I've always known One Piece is popular, but when we went to that Universal Fan Fest back in April, One Piece dominated. I mean, every other person had One Piece stuff on. Anime absolutely has a place here in America. I'm not a huge anime person, to be 100% with you, but I do embrace other cultures' entertainment. I think South Korea has done amazing stuff. I love K-pop. I'm a huge K-pop guy. And I know a lot of people have been really, I haven't seen it yet, but K-pop Demon Hunters has been huge out here in America. Like I said, anime is huge out here in America. So, in my opinion, yeah, I think it's ignorance to say that it doesn't belong here. Like, what is that? What does that fucking mean? Like, that's stupid,
Yeah.
absolutely stupid. But what say you, conductor? What do you think? What Lucas is saying?
So, Lucas makes a valid point. Even you, OG. I honestly 100% disagree with that. Like you said, look at FanFest, a small little section in front of the DreamWorks Theater based off that IP, and it was like a madhouse getting through there. There were so many fans. There was people dressed up, cosplaying. The merch basically flew off the shelves. They couldn't keep the shelves stocked with the merch from One Piece, and then they were even talking about, before the event was even halfway through. Okay, they were talking about for next year's fan fest nights at Hollywood, they're going to keep, it seems like they're going to keep incorporating Japanese culture IP into these events. For example, look at HHN. We had one of the best shows I've seen last year at HHN. We got another fantastic show this year based off Chainsaw Man, which is absolutely incredible. I encourage you to go see it at the
Is it?
DreamWorks.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you that. That's in the Kung Fu Panda Theater.
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
That was George's question. So George, there you go. What was it? Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
There you go. Continue. I do
Absolutely.
apologize.
No. Absolutely. No, it's stupid of them not to, but look at, for example, when they kind of did that makeover at DCA, and they rethemed it to San Francisco, and they brought the Big Hero 6 character. It's still popular to this day. So for people to come out and say that it should stay in Japan and the Asia, countries over there, is very stupid. They would be very stupid to do that.
Exactly. That's total ignorance, And this country was built on the melting pot, essentially,
Sure.
where a lot of stuff that we consider like, the norm out here in America it comes from other culture. Everything has immigrated over here.
Sure.
And that's what makes America such a strong place, is that we do have everybody from all walks of life. That's one of the reasons why LA in California is so successful and we're one of the largest economies in the world, is because of that diversity. You know what I'm saying? So I embrace it 1000%. And I think that anime is absolutely welcome here in the States. And it's obviously very popular. So bring it on. You know what I'm saying? But Shane Narani here says, do you think they should do more grown up Halloween parties at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Yes, and yes. I think they should. And I think they should do it at DCA too. That's why you have different parks. Isn't that why we have secondary parks? Like
Yes.
the Castle Park, yeah, you don't want to put that in Disneyland,
No.
you know. But like, you can put it in DCA. Like, isn't that why we have a secondary park, so you can do a little edgier, a little crazier, like. And honestly, that's why I kind of want Villains Land in DCA. because I just feel like they can go a little bit harder with it than they do in Disneyland. But I don't know. Yeah, I do think Shane. I do think they should do that. That would get me in there more motivated to do it. I feel Oogie Boogie has been really stale the last few years. I've done it like I think twice, and I'm really not motivated at all to go back. Meanwhile, HHN, I went there with this guy on Friday, and I'm like pumped to go back. I want to go again this week. You know, I fell in love with this event. It's absolutely wild to me, and these edgier Halloween events are really fun. Now, look, does that mean they should have blood, guts, and gore and crazy stuff like Universal? Maybe not that hard, but they can go harder than they do, man. Disney, come
No.
on. At DCA, you can do a little something extra, or Hollywood Studios. But what say you, conductor? You think they should do the more adult stuff for these secondary parks?
So this is what I think I would do personally. You know, if Disney wants to still have the Oogie Boogie Bash, you know, out here in Anaheim, I would say move it to Disneyland and then have DCA their own Halloween party that's more catered to adults. That's what I personally think. You know, when you can have like Zombie Captain America, you can have, you know, some of these darker IPs based off the villains roaming around and not have to worry about scaring a 6-year-old child or something like that. Or, you know, you can go hang out at the little winery right there off the pier and go have some very themed Halloween cocktails, maybe have a couple live bands and whatnot. Dude, I'm telling you, it's almost like me and George did a live stream like a week ago, and we're talking stuff like this. We're basically on a live stream giving Disney ideas here.
Come
You can
on.
have the kind of kiddish Oogie Boogie Bash at Disneyland and have a more adult Halloween theme party at DCA. What a moneymaker. Come
It's a
on.
moneymaker. It's counter programming, Disney. Come on. I mean
Yeah.
that's what you want to do. I say it all the time when it comes to Disney and Pixar. When John Lasseter ran both studios, he turned both of those studios into the same studio. They were producing the same kind of content. Why have two studios if you're going to produce the same shit? It doesn't make any sense, right? Same goes for theme parks. If you're going to produce the same stuff, why have two parks? So DCA and Hollywood Studios and these secondary parks should be more edgy or more adult. And those Halloween events, you should do edgier stuff. I would love to see a Disney maze. That would be sick at DCA. You know what I'm
Oh, that'd be
saying?
amazing.
It'd be incredible. But, I don't know. Disney seems very risk averse with a lot of stuff. They're scared, But Johnny here, Johnny, I want to thank you too, by the way. Johnny is actually a fan of Citrico Central, who we went to high school with.
Uh,
Um, and he found out about the channel through Citrico. So I do appreciate you, Johnny, for joining us this evening. Very cool of you to jump over here to OG55. Rumors are One Piece will have a live action show at the Waterworld stage at FanFest next year. Have you
uh,
heard that, conductor?
it's funny you say that, Johnny Ace, because I actually heard that last year during the event, and I would not be disappointed at all if they brought that. Now knowing, and shout out to whoever posted it. I don't think it was Wizard, but it was someone kind of like Wizard came out and posted that Universal somehow confirmed that we aren't losing Waterworld. So hopefully that hysteria goes away pretty soon. I would love to see One Piece at Waterworld. That would be a insane layover.
That's a perfect spot for that.
Yeah.
That whole setup would be perfect for One Piece. I love it. I would love to see actually a One Piece like boat ride eventually, like a
Oh, that would
permanent
be
boat
sick.
ride. Oh, dude, like Universal's version of a pirate attraction. That'd be
Oh, dude,
really. Come on, like Chef's
I'd be
kiss.
first in line.
Oh, me too. It'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. Remy D here says, how does Universal get away not updating Islands of Adventure much at all within the last 25 years, except for Harry Potter and Velocicoaster? Yeah, that is one thing too. I would agree with you, Remy, is that park, from what now I haven't been, so I want to be very like transparent about that. But George and our good friend Slimer recently went not too long ago, and they were saying it's looking really kind of worn out. Toon Lagoon, obviously, a lot of those IPs aren't really that relevant anymore. Like Betty Boop and Popeye. Now, this is all pre Comcast, right? So Comcast has made a lot of moves in terms of like their own IP and even partnerships. So I think there's a lot of potential there with IOA, but yeah, they need to go in there and update it. I think for sure. So we've heard rumors, everything from Zelda to all kinds of stuff, but it's time. It's time. What say you, conductor? What do you think, brother?
So I want to also be transparent. This March, which I think OG is joining me, George, his wife Abby, and Tommy to go out there. It's going to be my first time seeing all this as well. But what I think Universal is going to do, and this is just my opinion, is they're already working on expansions to Epic Universe. I personally think they're going to start the expansions. They're going to get about halfway through, maybe three-quarters of the way through with the expansions, and then you're going to start seeing stuff happen at Islands of Adventure. That's what I personally think is going to happen. So IOA is not going to be forgotten, because I do know there are two, well, I'm going to count three areas they definitely need to do something with. Is the old Fear Factor Live stage, which is a massive footprint, does nothing. They have another show that used to host, I think it was like a BMX type show, that stage doing nothing. And then you also have the Lost Continent area, which also had a show that's just sitting there doing nothing. So I do agree with you. And something needs to happen 25 years, or even if it's more than that, something needs to happen. But I think once they start building the expansions to Epic Universe to give more people an incentive to go to Epic Universe, because I don't think they've added Epic Universe's park to the passes yet for the annual pass holders. But once they do, once they add a little bit more in there, I honestly do believe that Islands of Adventure is going to go through a massive transformation, and we're going to be calling that the theme park with the walls, like we used to call Epcot. So
Yeah,
we'll
no,
see.
exactly. Well said, brother. Well said. And we got Mr. Tech Bear in the house. Kev said, everyone tell your friends about the channel. We are rolling towards AK. Yes, Kevin, thank you
AK.
so much. AK. Seriously, we just celebrated 6K just like a month and a half ago. So to be like this close now to AK is humbling. I really do. I want to say thank you to everybody that's ever watched a video, liked a video, shared a video, commented on a video. Seriously, it means the world to myself and everybody here at OG55. And Kev, you've been with us since like the beginning, bro. And seriously, that does mean a lot. I appreciate you and I appreciate your friendship, dude. I mean, it's been a journey. So thank you so much, Kev. And yeah, 8,000. We're almost there. We are almost there. Let me see here. We do have some comments. Dragon Blood. With my armchair Universal Creative, I really did a lot of changes to IOA, the most with Studios and Epic Universe. Yeah, and actually, if you are a member on the channel here, you can actually check out Dragon Blood's Armchair Imagineering session. We did like an hour and a half or something like that, where we kind of broke down, I think, all three Universal parks and kind of did like a little blue sky, like really fun, blue sky session. So check it out. David here says you made my day. Well, thank you, David, and you made my day for being here with us. And conductor and I thank you for that. Thank you so much. Let me see here. We do have a question here from Lord Jonathan. Lord, how art thou, Lord Jonathan? What Hollywood Studios renamed means for Galaxy's Edge and Monsters Inc. if it goes back in studio name called Walt Disney Studios? Now, would you be okay with that, conductor? What if they renamed Hollywood Studios and they called it the Walt Disney Studios or something along that line? Would that be okay, or do you feel like Hollywood Studios is sufficient?
I that's an excellent question, because I don't know, because I kind of feel like Hollywood Studios kind of gives a umbrella term and a name to a lot of different IPs. If you
Sure.
put the word Walt in front of it, does it justify all the IPs in there? Because you got, well, maybe it does because you got Lucasfilm that is under the Walt Disney name. And then is Monsters Incorporated, is that part of Disney as well, or is that Pixar?
That's Pixar.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's possible. I'm not opposed to it. Just like we're not opposed to renaming Disney California Adventure to Disney Cinematic Adventure. Shout out OG and George from Citrico Central for coming up with that name. But I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed either, but you bring up a great point, conductor, where it kind of like once you call it Walt Disney Studios, it sort of like leads you to believe it's all Disney, like the Disney animation, the Disney live action. So when you have Star Wars in there and other IP, like even Pixar, it starts to get a little weird, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, be,
I would agree with you on that.
because look at it before it became Hollywood Studios, it was MGM Studios, and look where that kind of wound up. So,
Yeah.
and Walt, his name is such a precious, not just a name, but a precious term. You want to use that very carefully. You don't want to shame that name in any which way possible. So again, I'm open to them renaming the park with his name on it, but again, it has to make almost 100% relevant sense if you're going to do that.
Well said. I agree, 100%. And James here says, which of the next original animated movies from Disney excites you the most? Hoppers, Hexed, or Godot?
Mm,
Which do you think will be the most successful? For me personally, I'm the most excited for Hexed because I think there's a lot of potential with Hexed, with all the like the magic, the witches. I think if now this is a huge if done right, it can feel like a very classic Disney movie. Will they do that? I don't know. But with the magic and all that, and that concept art was very Mary Blair style. I liked it, but we'll see. A lot of the synopsis was kind of weird with the Type A mother and all that. It felt a little modern, and they were trying to be hip or something. That kind of worries me a little bit. But if they go in a more traditional Disney animated direction, I think that could be a real big hit for them. And I'm hearing rumors it might even be hand drawn, which is even cooler. So for me, it's going to be Hexed. But what say you, conductor?
So actually, I'm excited for heck. I'm actually excited for all three of them, but to kind of go off what you're saying about Hex though, if because the concept art kind of seemed like it was like that villains type nostalgic to that one picture we did see. So if it is successful, since they're already building a villains land, why not incorporate something to do with that in the villains land? So, it could be a great opportunity for Disney. We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see. Brandon here says Hoppers because of the lizard meme. But I'm intrigued. While Hex sounds like it could be an interesting concept. Yeah. Well, Hoppers really took off with that lizard thing.
No, definitely.
I mean, everyone and their mom was doing that lizard meme. So yeah, and that kind of stuff in this social media age does make a difference. Lucas, I didn't see your HHN question. If you can cut and copy and repost it, I'll go ahead and answer that. But I was scrolling through, I didn't see it in there. So go ahead and repost it, brother. Just cut and copy it and put it back in. I'll definitely answer it 100%. CSRS here says, would the Sunset Showcase Theater eventually go for phase 2 of Avatar? I don't see that theater being there for very long, since the theater attraction doesn't last since theater attractions don't last long at Disneyland Resort. Here's the thing, CSRS. I had Barry Place 28, friend of the channel, on this show a couple weeks ago, and he actually had a very interesting kind of theory about Hollywood Land in general. And the theory is that all of it is going to go for Avatar this time around. Like when Avatar opens in the next 4 or 5 years, all of Hollywood Land is going to be gone. And his mindset is basically they're shutting Hollywood Land down in sections to kind of prevent backlash. Because, for example, first they announced the red car trolley is going away. Then they announced that back area with Monsters Inc. is going away. So Bob was saying he thinks Hyperion is next, the main street going into the land is next, and eventually all of it will be announced. And they're just kind of doing this phased closure to make way for an entire Pandora area. Now, is that going to happen? For sure, I don't really know, but it's a solid theory because it just feels weird, and we've been talking about a lot here on the channel. It feels really weird to have that um, Hollywood Boulevard leading up to Pandora. It doesn't really feel. I don't know. I don't even know how you transition that. So I think Berry Place has a decent theory. Is that going to happen? I'm not really sure, but it could happen in phase one. I don't know. What say you, conductor? What do you think about this?
So, I watched that live stream with Bob, and I agree with them. It could be a phase two project. It could be a phase one because we honestly, I go back to what Bricky did with his video about what he's hearing, how it could be laid out, and it almost looks like Avatar is not even going to be in that footprint of where the theater is. So the question is, if they do rip it out, which I would like to see it ripped out, because I don't think it serves a purpose to the everyday Disney guest when they're only doing private events. And if they're not doing private events, then it just sits doing nothing. I honestly think Avengers Campus should go into that spot. What they would build there, probably another e-ticket attraction. When you exit Guardians, you have the big wooden gate that says Stark Industries. I think that could be a telling sign on that. Because when you look at Bricky's video and he shows the breakdown on how Avatar possibly will look, he's showing that where the kind of like the entrance on both sides for Hollywood Studios is, he's hinting at, and again, this is just speculation even from him, that it's going to be kind of like a green space area. So kind of like a little mini park, maybe with some shops on the outside, and then as you walk through the little park, then you're going to be walking into Avatar. So when I see something like that, I don't know if that big giant theater is going to be part of Avatar or it might be part of Avengers Campus. That's the biggest question I have.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you, and I would be fine with either one of those. Because I think if you're building Avengers Campus into the Hollywoodland area, or you're building Pandora out further, you're rebuilding the area, so you're kind of purpose building the transitions at that
Sure.
point. But if you try to shoehorn Hollywoodland into the new stuff, it's a lot harder because the Hollywoodland stuff already exists. So it's a lot harder to sort of transition that stuff. So if you want to bulldoze it all and expand Pandora and expand Avengers Campus, I'm fine with that because then they can really get the transitions right because they're doing it from the ground up, you know? So that's kind of tough. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Avengers Campus get a little bit of an expansion. I mean, it's a huge franchise and they absolutely should.
Sure.
Lucas Kim in the house says, question. And this might be more for you, conductor. You might know
Sure.
more about this, but there was a big backlash about the HHN Hollywood lacking more animatronics than Orlando due to budget issues, stated by one of the directors in HHN Hollywood, and some individual demand HR to fire him. Oh, that's interesting. And then he says, due to unprofessional transparency, justified for the backlash. I mean, real quick before I take it over to you, conductor, you probably have
Sure.
more insight in this, but like, just because there wasn't as many animatronics, you're gonna advocate to fire this guy? I don't know. For me personally, I think it's a little overboard. But maybe I don't know the whole story. I'm kind of, reading a synopsis here, but I just feel like it's a little overboard. I don't know. And a lot of these companies make decisions, it's not so black and white, right? There's a lot of like moving parts in these big corporations, and if they were cut in Hollywood, it's likely more than just one person, one guy saying like, "Don't do it." It's probably a series of decisions from
Sure.
across many different people. I don't know. For me, that seems a little harsh, but maybe I don't know the whole story. Do you know more about this, conductor?
So I know a little bit more. So basically, what people are referring to, and I mean the people that are backlashing against our creative director John Murdy, who again I actually stood up for him on X, and I said that is not appropriate. John has been bringing properties to HHN for over a decade, almost 2 decades. And I don't feel like he deserved that type of backlash. And he even went online on X because he periodically likes to, put posts out and answer people's questions. Like he put one out today asking people, oh, we've completed the first opening weekend of HHN. What is everyone's favorite house? He likes doing that. He likes interacting with his community, his fans, and the and some of the things that were said against him, and he came out and publicly stated he was sorry. There was budget cut issues, and again, like OG made a great point. It's not just him that made that call. It's upper management, because one of the things that we've talked about, shout out to Mr. Scary Dre that we just saw in the chat at the very beginning. We hung out with him on Friday with OG, myself, Tommy, and Mr. Scary Dre. And one of the things he kept referring to is that even though we have 8 houses at our park, it is very compact. So there's a lot of crowds, and it does get very crowded at the houses. And one of the things he was saying was, why can't we get the metro sets back? And that's been the biggest question as well. Well, the problem is, just because John Murray might want the back lot, it's all up to the studio, it's all up to the upper management. And if the upper management's telling them, hey, this is your budget, hey, you can't have this area, you can't do this here, you can't do that, that has nothing to do with John. That has everything to do with upper management. So I don't feel like John Murray had, he deserved that backlash. Now, what they're referring to is when you walk inside the house, I don't want to give too much away, but when you walk inside the house and one of the first things you see while turning the corner, you see the stage. Orlando has 3 of the characters. You have Freddy Fazbear, you have Chica, and you have Bonnie the bunny. I'm sure that's not the character's name. I'm just calling it that, or Rabbit, whatever it is. And out here in Hollywood, we only have Freddy Fazbear on the stage. We don't have the 2 animatronics. But when you look at it, there's curtains on either side, and it shows the shadow of them. So I was talking to Mr. Scary Dre about it while we're all hanging out on Friday, and it almost looks like they might even be there, but behind curtains. So it could be maybe a reveal they might do. Now, is that 100% concrete? Maybe not. Maybe they're just portraying their shadows on the curtain, which, again, I kind of felt like our house bringing Five Nights at Freddy's to life and kind of getting that nostalgic feel of me being a kid again and going in the Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid and seeing the animatronic band was absolutely incredible. And to incorporate like the horror Halloween aspect to it, I don't feel like we really got robbed of anything. If anything, I feel like a kid again going through that house. It was absolutely incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't get to go through that one, but I will. Actually gonna go back, and I will definitely. I want to hit that one up, and I want to hit Terrifier up. So definitely gonna check those out. Now, Lene Ward, I believe Lene is responding to the idea, Barry Place 28's kind of theory that they're phase closing Hollywoodland, to prevent too much backlash. And Lene here says, I really don't think they care about backlash. They are literally draining the rivers of America at Walt Disney World. And that's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, the rivers of America is a big deal for Disney parks, right? And I know that their rivers of America doesn't have the same kind of like significance as the one out here at Disneyland in California. But still, I mean, it's a great point to be made. I mean, if they can do that, what's Hollywoodland,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a really, really good point. We got Kaylee with 2 E's in the house with a hibiscus flower. Kaylee is in the house. Let's go. All of the lights. There she is. And we got Remy D in the house. Which Disneyland project are you the most excited about? I think Pandora. Because I love the one in Animal Kingdom. I love the fact that out here on the West Coast we get nighttime Pandora every single night.
Yes.
They don't get that in Florida.
Nope.
You're not getting that
Nope.
in Florida, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
So, and I'm curious to see how it changes DCA.
Sure.
The DCA stuff is very fascinating to me because I think that park has a lot of potential, and I'm very curious to see how this whole Pandora thing changes the equation for DCA. So yeah, Pandora all the way. What say you, conductor?
So I absolutely agree with you. I think Pandora is going to be on my top list, but a close second is going to be the Coco Dark ride based
Mm.
off Pirates Shanghai ride. So I'm very excited for that. But I don't know, Avengers Campus is piquing my interest because I've said it on my videos lately. I've said it even on Orange Grove videos that I've been on the last couple weeks. I've said it's very funny to me that, I make it a running joke. I say, did Disney hire a Universal creative to work on the Avengers Campus project, the expansion, the Stark Flight Labs, the e-ticket attraction? Because I find it very interesting how much of the skeleton of those two attractions are going up that fast.
It's
It
crazy.
cracks me up.
It cracks me up. No, I agree. Dragon Blood here says I'll definitely come back to Disneyland for Infinity Defense and Pandora openings. Now, here is the thing when it comes to how fast they're moving on those projects. I think it might be connected to what Kevin Davis here is saying. Do you think Josh D'Amaro will be announced the next CEO before the end of the year? So, Daddy Josh, as we call him here
Right?
on the channel, he really wants this job, like really
Yeah.
wants it. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to get all the good headlines. He's trying to stack good headlines, and he's on the ground all the time with fans. You know, you see it. He knows one of the big complaints is that Disney takes forever to build anything. So they're pushing things up. I think that might be connected to the fact that he's vying for this particular job. We'll see. It might be the cynic in me. You know what I'm saying? I've said a lot that I don't fully look. I think Josh seems like a great guy. I would love to chill with him, at Oga's Cantina and have like a drink or three. That'd be awesome. You know what I'm saying? But I don't fully in the corporate sense, I feel like he's a very opportunistic dude. And I don't fully trust him because I feel like he's sort of doing things to get where he wants to be, but I don't necessarily believe that this is like the true Josh though. Like let's say for example, if Josh becomes CEO, are we still going to get rides and attractions, timelines pushed up, or is that going to be kind of forgotten and it's going to go back to business as usual because he's got the job? That's where I'm concerned, right? Now, look, he might become the next CEO and he might crush it. And I hope he does. I'm a huge Disney fan. I am rooting for you, Josh. If you become the CEO, I want you to kick major butt. But I would be lying. I'm not going to show for him. I'm not going to show for anybody. If I feel like there's questions, I'm going to say it. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing too. I have major questions about Josh. But if he crushes it, I will be out here super loud about my praise of him. So I'm not like predetermined to hate the guy or hate him in that position. If he shows he can crush it, I will be Daddy Josh's biggest fan. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just hesitant as to if he's gonna do that. So that's just how I stand with it. What say you, conductor? What do you think?
Well,
Daddy Josh is making moves, or
I think it's possible. I think he can step up to the plate, and if he does, like OG said, I know George. If Daddy Josh does his job as CEO and he fast tracks everything, and it comes out wonderful, I'm sure George will be running down Main Street and hugging the guy. That would be a magical moment right there.
yeah,
But there is, like OG said, there is some type of second guessing when it comes to Josh, and it doesn't really reflect him too much, but the company itself, and that all has to do with Bob Chapek. You know, he was the CEO, he was responsible for the company. Now, do I 100% blame him for everything that happened? No. I kind of share the blame with between him and Bob Iger, who unfortunately probably was playing the puppet master behind the scenes and did stuff where he wasn't in camera view and made Chapek look bad. But that put a very sad, sour taste and a lot of hardcore Disney fans. So when we
Great.
see, Josh tomorrow stepping up to the plate, fast tracking all these projects, and basically being in public, showing his face around, doing all this stuff, it's great. But is he going to continue it once he gets that title? And that goes with any corporate America job. Anyone trying to push for a position like that, they do everything in their power to make it happen. And then once
Right.
they get that power, then it's like, well, what happened to the 10 things you promised all of us workers and your fans? What the hell
Thank you.
happened to that?
Thank
So,
you. Thank you. Conductor, preach, baby, preach. No, I agree with you, man. That's exactly it. So we'll see how it turns out. Like I said, like I think you and I are on the same page with that. Like we want him to succeed, obviously. We love this company. I don't want to see anyone who runs the company fail. I want to see them succeed. I gotta see it to believe it with him. There's something about him I'm just not 100% on board with. Now, Abby, the lovely fiance of George the Italiano, said that they're going home tomorrow. They're in Mexico right now, so mi amiga, Abby. I hope you guys have a safe flight home, mi amiga, and hopefully, I saw the video where they were on the boat excursion, which is amazing. I was actually there in that same little area actually for the Disney cruise, the Disney Wonder, like a few years ago. It's beautiful over there, Abby. It absolutely is. But just have a safe flight home, and knowing George and Abby though, I mean, she's sad to go home, but they'll be on another vacation in about a week and a half. So it's only for a little bit, Abby. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. But in all seriousness, have a great flight home, and you will never hear OG whiter than when I'm trying to speak Spanish. So there you go. That's an exclusive right now on today's live show. The whitest OG possible saying "mi amiga." Lene Ward here says, "What can fans do to push back on decisions that are terrible, or has all consideration been gobbled up by the corporate machine?" The best thing you can do, Lene, I think, to push back is vote with your wallet,
yeah.
because that's the language of corporate America. That's the language of all these businesses. Vote with your wallet. So if you don't like what they're doing, if you're against this, that, or the other, then don't go. Don't go to the movie. Don't go to the park. Don't. If you give them your money, you're sort of low key, and maybe not even low key, maybe even high key, sort of condoning the decision. The problem with a lot of Disney fans, Lene, is that what happens is that they say on Twitter or X they don't like stuff, but then they go and they spend all the money, and then they're first in line. And you see, you're not sending Disney a message. They don't care about everyone's mean tweets. They care about you not spending the money. That's
Yeah.
where it is. So if you don't like the Rivers of America being changed, or you don't like this, that, and the other, don't go to the parks. The only way you can send a message. Go ahead, conductor.
Well, I was gonna say that's number one defense right there. And if you are gonna go to the parks, this is another defense you can also use. If you go to the parks just to kind of get away from your own personal life and just go enjoy yourself, great. And I've noticed, when you go to the parks the next day or later that day when you leave, you get an email. They want to hear about your experience. Be honest. Tell them, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that, you guys are charging this, you should charge that. Voice your opinion. Obviously be 100% respectful about it,
Of
but
course.
voice your opinion. So like OG said, that would be defense number one. Just don't go, period, and vote with your wallet. Number two would be, if you're gonna go to the park or you're gonna go to the movie. I don't know if movies send a review to your email, but the parks do. Voice your opinion. That's the best way I can recommend.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well said, conductor. I completely agree with you. Now, Kiki and Luca is asking a very serious, hard-hitting question or a comment. George has a sugar mama, and
Mm.
then he follows up, and he does. He's got sugar mama Abby, and then he follows up with,
Uh-oh.
does Abby have a sister?
Oh boy.
Here we go. We're making moves. We're making moves, and she follows up with, says she has a sister, but she's married. Yeah, she does have a sister. She's actually really cool. I like Abby's sister a lot. She's a sweetie. I talked to her a little bit at Abby's birthday party last year. She's really, really cool. She's actually going to be my partner for the wedding. Like, how you match up when you walk down the aisle and all
Oh,
that.
there you go.
Abby's sister is actually my partner, so shout out to Abby's sister if she's watching. But yes, very very cool. But and also shout out to Sugar Mama Abby. Lene Lene Ward here. Oh, and wait, hold on. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. Lene Ward here says, I don't have any spicy opinions about the parks currently, so I'm going to give them my money. Well, there you go. Exactly. Well, if you're happy, then that's cool, you know?
Yeah.
But if you have a spicy opinion, Lene, one day, let's say they're closing down your favorite thing and you don't like that, by all means, vote with your wallet. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way to do it. Only way to do it. So, and Cassandra here says she needs a sugar mama. So, yeah, no, sugar mamas are great. Sugar mamas are great. You know. And then Kiki and Luca here says
Oh God.
he wants to be on the waiting list.
Oh boy.
He's on the waiting list. So there you go.
Oh
Hey,
Lord.
you know, if yeah, absolutely, you're definitely on the waiting list, Kiki and Luca. If anything changes, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. And then Lucas here, am I not invited to the wedding? Um, that's up to well, I'm sure you are, but the wedding isn't for like 3 years, Lucas. So, but
Yeah.
yes, the invitations will be going out, and I'm sure you're invited, absolutely. But yeah, it's not happening for a while. I mean, they are engaged, but I think the wedding isn't until 2028.
7 or 8, I can't remember. But
Yeah.
hey, don't worry, folks. OG's hair is still going to be spiky
Oh,
3 years from now, so don't you worry about that.
don't
It's
even
going to
worry
happen.
about it. Don't even worry about it. It's staying. It's staying like this. Believe me, it's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And Dragon Blood here says, "What are some rides you recommend for Universal Hollywood Conductor? I'm already hyped for Transformers, but what are some others I can give it a shot for next year?" That's a great question.
So the current rides that I would recommend is definitely do the studio tour. That is
Yes.
iconic. It's always a great time. You never know what you're going to see. You never know who you're going to run into. Like myself, probably about 8 months ago, I saw Sam O'Neill from the Jurassic Park series on the lot riding his golf cart. So that was incredible. So you never know. But ride aspect, besides that, I would say Jurassic World must do. Let me see. Maybe Harry Potter. The Simpsons. No. Um, Despicable Me is pretty cool, but Secret Life of Pets, if you can even fit on that ride, I recommend that.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how your 6'4" ass fits on that ride, bro.
barely, barely.
That's a tough one. I mean, it's yeah. I went on there with George once, and I'm like,
Oh
man, I
boy.
feel so close to this guy. I feel like I should buy him dinner or something. This is nuts, you know. Basically in his lap, you know. Remy D here says, I think there is truly a big divide between the theme park nerds like us and the general public. Many Disney fans are upset by Disney's decisions, but most casual fans don't care. Another example is Epic Universe. Influencers are calling this the best thing since sliced bread, but online reviews are rock bottom. Yeah, that's actually true though, Remy. Like I look, Epic Universe looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie, it does look really good, but there is a divide between the normies and the diehard nerds, and that is a thing for sure. When we went on the Disney Wish a couple years ago with George and our friend Mindy and Vash Sky, like we were in that Marvel restaurant, Remy, and you would have thought Elvis walked in the room. I mean, these normies were climbing and clawing over each other to get to Spider-Man. Now, the Disney community is like, no, 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 Marvel, that ain't my Disney. That's not Disney. But it's like, I mean, the normies don't really give a shit. I mean, they love it, right? So there was that divide. In terms of Epic, I know what you're talking about. I know like a lot of the reviews online, like Yelp and things like that, I think they're on the lower end. Um, Now, here's the thing, though. I do want to give a little bit of a caveat here to be fair to Universal. Now, I'm not dismissing all the reviews because some of them, a lot of them even could be legitimate, right? But I'm very weary of any kind of online review, whether it be Rotten Tomatoes or any of those kind of things, just because there is a lot of agendas with that shit, and we've seen review bombing and things like that. So, just be aware of that, Remy, because that could be a thing with this. I don't know for sure if it is. I'm just saying it could be a factor.
Sure.
But it's also a factor, and it's also a possibility that the normies aren't as in love with it as the diehard nerds. That's fair too. So we'll kind of see. Universal is a very smart company. They've been doing a lot of great things. They do listen to their fans, though. I think they listen very well with that stuff, with feedback. So if there is an issue with the normies and there's elements of this park that's causing problems, I think they'll address them. You know, one of the big issues, I know, Lucas Kim, if you're still in the chat, I know you went recently. One of the big issues you had was the shade. Okay, that's a fair critique. It's fucking hot in Florida. You need more shade, you know, but that's something that Universal could easily fix, right? So there are things they can do. So, you know, but you're right though, Remy. There is a clear, there's a big gap between the diehard nerds and the you know, the general public for sure. But what say you, conductor? What do you think about that, brother?
So I actually think it's interesting because when you talk about theme park nerds, influencers, and then you talk about, like OG likes to call it, the soccer moms that take their kids to Disneyland or Universal, there is a big difference. You know, we as theme park nerds, we try to look at more detail than someone that might go to the parks maybe, I don't know, once a year, once every 2 years. And but that's what makes us as influencers unique. The way I see it, we have, I don't know if I would say we have a higher standard. Maybe we do, because we try to educate people, like the soccer moms, like the people that don't go to the parks every day or every week or every couple weeks. We try to give that information off. You know what I mean? To
Right.
kind of make it more easier to understand. So when someone says, "Oh, the Rivers of America and Magic Kingdom's going away," again, the soccer mom family is not gonna care. They're gonna say, "Whoa, we're getting something exciting."
Right.
But us, on the other hand, we kind of break it down a little bit more, share our opinions, and say, I don't know if this is going to be the greatest thing. But even us as influencers, we actually a lot of times get shocked when we see the end result, because we're like, this is not going to work right, or this is not going to be right. And then when we go see it in person, it's completely different than what we complain about or make comments about on online or live streams or YouTube or any socials, period. So again, I kind of feel like we're at a higher standard than the average, soccer mom family that's going to the parks.
Well said. I would agree with that absolutely. Lene Ward here says, I find that Nightmare Before Christmas on Haunted Mansion overrated, and it shouldn't be overlaid from August to January. Well, you know what, Lene? Honestly, that's an opinion a lot of people hold. And while I love Haunted Mansion Holiday, I can see the argument to be made here because, you know, Haunted Mansion Holiday is one of those rare sort of overlays that straddle two holidays, you know? Two holidays collide, right? So it's Halloween and Christmas. So it's a huge chunk of the calendar. I mean, really from August, like she was saying, all the way to January. A lot of people like the original Haunted Mansion too, though, and it's like it cuts into that. So I get it, I really do. Now, personally, Lene, it doesn't really bother me that much, but I can respect and see where you're coming from, and you're not the only one. A lot of people in the community feel the same way. What say you, conductor? Does it bother you or not so much?
So it honestly does not bother me, but I 100% get why people like the old nostalgic, just plain Jane Haunted Mansion, because I love it. But to kind of see it transform into the Halloween Christmas type aesthetic, I'm not mad about it. Now, quite frankly, do I think August might be a little too early? Maybe. But again, it also goes to the point of how much decor, how much change they have to do to the attraction. So maybe that's why they justify themselves by doing it in August instead of September, where it's a little bit closer to the Halloween season.
Yeah, no, well said. Well said. Lene here says it would be fine if it was just one holiday, but both is silly. Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. So that's a fair argument you're making there, Lene. Absolutely. Lucas and Disney, in regard to Epic Universe not having shade, says you literally become Korean barbecue if you stay out for the summer. Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Lucas, you know, you're making me hungry, bro. I feel like some Korean barbecue, a little soju right now. That would be
There you
fantastic.
go.
Oh,
You're making me hungry.
I'm telling you, that
Kidding me?
sounds That sounds really, really good right now. Absolutely. Now, different perspective here from It's Florentine. I like to give all sides to these arguments. He says here, I can't speak on Rise, but Epic is a beautiful park. I'd never expected to be in awe by Universal. It was so different in person that no live stream does justice. And I've actually heard that from quite a few people. Lucas, you were on the channel just the other day with our video, and you were saying that Celestial Park is absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. So there's a lot to this park. That's pretty cool. Now you haven't been yet, right, Conductor?
No, so I'm going in March with you and George and his wife Abby and Tommy. But to kind of answer the second part of that, there are things like Epic Universe or like that Universal Horrors Unleashed. Just because you watch people's live stream does not mean it always justifies the ends of the means. Do you know what I mean? A lot of
That's
times
the
you kind of have to just say, you know what? I can't make my mind up on how I feel about it. So if I can afford it, if I could do it, let me just go out there. Let me go experience it so I can validate my own opinion. So that's what I kind of feel like what Epic Universe is. I kind of feel like, what Pandora is going to be when we have it out here at California Adventure in 4 or 5 years, the Avengers Campus expansion, and so many other projects in the theme park world, as I call it. Again, live streams are great. Don't get me wrong. Videos are great. POVs are great. But a lot of times it just, you can't justify the means for it. So you just have to kind of break down, just go experience it yourself to get the full experience.
I agree. I agree. I'm a huge advocate for actually going and experiencing these things on your own. Live life. Get out the house. Do these things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look, on paper, I really don't care about Halloween. It's okay, but I'm not a huge Halloween guy, and I don't like horror movies. I went to Halloween Horror Nights back in October of last year, and I fell in love with that event to the point where I went again just this Friday with Conductor and Tommy Toon, and I had a blast yet again. And I'm gonna go back in a few weeks again. Again, not a Halloween guy, not a horror fan, but I love HHN, and I've seen the videos, I've seen the pictures of Halloween Horror Nights before, and I was like, I don't know. It's not really my thing. When I did it, though, it changed it for me. It was that in person, nothing competes with that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, like, you can see this stuff online. You can see great videos from great creators like Ordinary Adventures or what have you. But until you actually go yourself, you really never know. So always have an open mind with this stuff. Florentine here says, telling Lucas, you got to have one piece of dark chocolate and you got to keep moving and stay hydrated. If you're new to
Yes.
Florida temps, stay hydrated. 100%. No, Florida's brutal. We went 2 years ago in like the end of July, early August.
Oh God.
I'm telling you, bro, it was like Soak City, dude. I was like just
Mm,
between the rain and the sweat and everything else, dude. It's hot.
nasty.
It's freaking hot. And then Cassandra's really looking forward to our HHN review. Yeah, that should be
Absolutely.
up, Cassandra, on Thursday night. Conductor and Tommy Toon and myself are gonna film that on Thursday. I just got the text actually from Tommy. He just confirmed it, so we're good. We're gonna talk about it because we had a really really good time. So it was a great event. It again really impressed me. So um, let me see here. We got one more, then we're probably gonna head out. Dragon Blood. That's why I'm excited for D23 and stuff. I just don't know that it will be a huge impact in my life. Well, regardless of what they announced at D23 Dragon Blood, I'm gonna try to be there. The Italiano's gonna try to be there. Conductor, are you gonna try to be there?
I am going to try to be there. It's going to be like World War III trying to get those tickets, but I'm going to try my best.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna be in the trenches. We're gonna all try to get these tickets, and then I think Lucas Kim, you probably are gonna be there too, Lucas, if I'm not mistaken. We're all gonna try to be there. I hope if we are there, Dragon, that we see you and we can all hang out. It'd be a lot of fun. These in-person events hit different, bro. They hit different.
Yep.
They hit different. The conductor knows, you know.
I know, because it was, man, it was party time Friday night at HHN. I don't know if I was enjoying more of the Halloween event or I was enjoying more of seeing OG just hang out and let loose.
Oh, I love it,
Uh,
bro. I love it. Yeah, no, Tommy and I got a couple of these drinks over at the Chucky Bar,
Mm,
and it was kind of
that's where
interesting. Yeah, that was fantastic. It was good. It was a great time. So yeah, it's always different in person. Cassandra here says we're locked in. We need luck on our side. 100%. 100%. I want to thank everybody who joined us today, whether Dragon Blood, Lene Ward, Lucas Kim, Citrico Central, that guy we went to high school with, right?
yeah.
Abby, Kiki and Luca, Remy D, Brandon Smith, our friend Andre was in the chat earlier, Kevin Davis, everybody that joined us today, Matthew Murr. I want to thank you all so much for all your support. Before I take it over to Conductor so we can let everybody home know where they could find him on social media, I want to share a few things. This is CTM Apparel. Friend of the channel, Jared from Capture the Magic, has a great merch store. They have a lot of nerdy merchandise like this one right here. Really great fitting shirts. Gentlemen, these shirts fit really good. They kind of hug all the right areas, your chest, your arms, a little looser around the midsection. Perfect. Got the nerdiness going on. It's great. So if you actually use promo code OG55, you'll get 10% off of all these great nerdy shirts and get yourself something really fun. Also, we do have an outro here on the channel. A lovely gal by the name of Mimi Fan. She's awesome, and this is her Instagram. If look, if you're in the LA Orange County area and you're looking for some really good spots to get like boba or Korean barbecue or anything like that, you're gonna want to check out Mimi Fan's Instagram. She's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's really been cool working with her for the channel and everything. But check her Instagram out. She'll get you hooked up with all these cool spots in LA or Orange County. And on top it off, she has great taste in music because you can see right here, she's got the Tyler the Creator sugar on my tongue. So, oh, actually, what am I doing? Hold on. Hold on. I didn't even share the tab. What am I doing? Okay. Well, here she is. This is Mimi Fan. And as you can see, she has great taste in music, Tyler the Creator. But yeah, she'll get y'all hooked up with any kind of Korean barbecue or boba places. If you're tired of the same old at the theme parks, this place is in Fullerton. So make sure you check her out on Instagram. And she can lead you in the right direction in regards to all the great spots here in Southern California. Big shout out to Mimi Fan. Subscribe to her YouTube down below and her Instagram. Now, Conductor, it is always an honor having you on the show, brother. I appreciate you. You're a friend of us, of mine, and the channel in general. We love you, brother. I can't wait for the next time we all hang out. It's always a good time. But if you can let everybody home know, Conductor, where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. And it's always great hanging out with Orange Grove 55 and his wonderful community on the road to 8,000 subs. Can't wait. And then after that, 10,000 subs. So let's bring the fire, as Mondo likes to call it, fire it up. But I am Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Theme Park Conductor. And on TikTok, I actually had to change it so it's Theme Park Conductor, but with a 1 after it. So I had to change it. And then on X, you can find me at Theme Conductor, all one word. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like the one and only Orange Grove 55, George from Citrico Central, Tommy Toon World, Jared from Capture the Magic, and so many others. It's such a great time talking theme parks, Disney, Universal, HHN, and the up-and-coming Christmas holiday. And shout out to Mr. Seymour Duck for his happy birthday wish. I hope all the wishes that you made come true. And shout out to Mimi Fan on Instagram. I am going to go find her on Instagram and follow her on Instagram and YouTube. Can't wait to check out more of her content. So shout out to her and her content. And shout out again to Jared with his apparel line. It looks absolutely incredible.
Yep, absolutely. We got Jared's one more time right here. I just clicked it off. Okay, I do apologize. But you can click it down below. You can definitely check it out down below for both Mimi and the apparel line. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of OG55.
Thank you so much for watching OG55. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and become a member today.